Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 150. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you to be on it. For $3.99 a month, you can be part of that app, and with that, you will have access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit, and you will also be delivered 3 bodyweight exercises every week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs to your calendar. For $9.99 a month, you can have access to all the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer. Everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to triathlon programs to Spartan races. What else is there? The goal of Lift Heavy Run Long is to deliver fitness to as many people as possible, as inexpensively as possible. So if you or someone you know does not have $3.99 a month and thinks that fitness would enhance the quality of your life, then please email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com, and we'll be more than happy to add you to the app free of charge. Go to www.liftheavyrunlong.com, click the sign up now button, take a look at the programs that we have, and you can enter your email address into any one of those programs, and you will have a free week on the Lift Heavy Run Long app.
Chris Hope Foundation 5K.
The Chris Hope Foundation 5K is Saturday, October 5th, 2019, and you can go to that race at chrishopefoundation.org.
Bravo.
Woo! Thank you very
Bravo.
much. Thank you very much. And join Team LHRL. You can either come to the race and be part of Team LHRL, or you can run a virtual race and be part of Team LHRL. Or you can not run the race and be part of the Chris Hope Foundation and donate to what he is doing, which is excellent stuff. October 19th, 2019 is the Big Hill Pond Walking Tall 25K, 50K, put on by our people, Brian Williams and Sean Hilsden. It will be the second annual Big Hill Pond Walking Tall 25K and 50K. I can't imagine them making it any better than they did last year, but I bet that they will find a way.
They will.
And Vaughn will be out there running the world's greatest aid station.
The best aid station that you have ever been to in your life if you run on the trails, I promise.
And it's going to be even better than last year.
Even better than last year. Even better than last year.
I have, sitting to my right, speaking of even better, I have my lovely wife of 4 years. It's our anniversary.
Yeah.
Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, jacked and tan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You look dynamite.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my wife for this amount of time. Every day that I wake up, I think, wow, this is great.
Thanks for not getting tired of him yet.
Yeah. It could happen so easily.
Right?
Yeah, I told him thanks for putting up with me, too. So
We live a good life.
Yeah.
We have a good time.
We have a good balance.
Yes, we do. What's new?
I'm on it at the gym. Killing it at the gym.
Killing at the gym.
Yep.
Good. Keep it up.
What's that like?
We have...
Soreness. Ugh.
To Amanda's right, we have our friend Gavin May, who's been a guest on the podcast before, but he's on here because we have some business to discuss, which I'm really not even sure how we got to this point, but Gavin at some point challenged me to an eating competition.
He was smack talking about you behind your back.
It was
a
a lot.
way this came down.
Here I was minding my business as usual, and someone comes and attacks me. And that's the way things tend to go. You know, I'm over here being my quiet and reserved
So
self.
innocent.
And then people just start picking on
I
poor
don't know
little
why
old
they
me.
want to do that.
And Gavin is one of these people. And so we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Why he's such a bully.
How are you, Gavin?
Fantastic.
How do you feel about just pushing this, little 270-pound guy around?
Fantastic.
You feel good about it. You feel pretty confident about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sam Renfrow is the one that started this whole mess.
Okay, I can believe that.
He's the one. He's instigated this at
He
Sardis
has
Lake
a-
trail run, fun run thing we had.
He has a big old spoon, and he knows how to stir some shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I didn't back down from it. I'm like, yeah, I'll take on Wilson. So,
And thank goodness, because now we got, what are we going to call it? We got our feed and eat
Oh, man.
challenge coming up. We'll discuss the rule. I got to get around and introduce everybody,
Sure.
or else I'm going to be thrown off. The Reverend
Hey,
Vaughn Rawls.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Can you tell I'm overly excited about this episode?
Yes. Well, why wouldn't you be? It's about eating.
I am like,
Like, I mean, I can't think of anything better. Well, I mean, there's only a couple of things better than eating.
you think that's what it is? You think it's the food portion of this has really got me geeked up?
Well, I'm just saying what's in my head.
Yeah.
So,
I thought it was our anniversary.
It's
it could be that.
it's all
kidding.
these
Well,
things.
that's the
It's
other.
all
That's one of
these
those other
things.
things I was talking about that's better than eating.
And we didn't do a podcast last week, so that affects things.
Right,
Can
so-
you imagine if we didn't do this for like a month?
Now you're all amped up because we
Yep.
haven't. I couldn't imagine going a month.
So here I go. I introduce you, and then I start talking for
There
2
you go.
minutes.
Let's go.
How are you, sir?
Me, I'm doing great.
What's new?
What's new? What's new? Boy, that's a loaded question. Lots of things are new. Fitness is new. Like I'm working out and stuff. I did a workout yesterday.
You're not just working out. You're back to running, and you're
Well,
you're running fast.
I wouldn't say back, but
You're
but,
running fast, and you're an asshole for it. Just
Fast.
I was I didn't know how to say. You're at the point now where like the sympathy's over. Now you're down into the sub 35Ks.
Oh, this is true. The
where it's
sympathy-
like that's son of a bitch.
I get you're still not back to the barbell yet, and there's other challenges in your recovery still ahead of you. But as far as running goes, like you're back MFer and back in style. Like it's I've been seeing your training runs, and they are not slow.
I can't argue.
Can't argue with that.
I felt pretty good the last couple times I was out for sure.
Hey,
As a whole, you feel pretty good.
he went
As
out,
a whole, I feel great.
he went out and ran with me twice last week, slow as can be. And so then he had to go out on the weekend and run a fast run because he had to run so slow with me 2 days. So,
don't
so
feel bad about being
we,
fast.
We did two.
I don't feel bad.
So last week Vaughn and I both turned 44. Usually we would do 4.4 miles, but I thought he was going to be struggling with the running. Turns out I was the one that struggled with the running. So instead of doing 4.4 miles, because we weren't sure how long that was going to take us, we did 44 minutes of running. The first day we did 3.9 miles. The second day we did like 4.1, I think.
Now it was 44 minutes, was not 4.4 miles.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So we did 44 minutes, and on Tuesday we, like I said, got 3.9 miles. On Thursday we got like 4.1 miles, and then on Saturday he goes out and runs 4 miles at like an 8:30 pace. So obviously I was the limiting factor on Tuesday and Thursday.
However, you're 2 days at a CrossFit gym and 4 days of running in the past, 8-9 days.
2 days at
Isn't
CrossFit
that correct?
gym?
Didn't you do
One day.
2 days last week?
I did
or was
one
that
day.
2 weeks ago?
I did one, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Maybe we just talked about it on another day and it seemed like a lot. You went to
I
the
ran
gym
3
and you went out to eat, so that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I ran 3 times last week because I did the 2 runs with Vaughn and then ran. Dawn had a great group show up at Shelby Farms for Tour de Wolf
Seemed
on
like it.
Saturday. It was probably 15, maybe 20 people on the first loop, and so I got out there and did a loop with her. Of course, she's out there intending to run 4 loops, and she still manages to pass me on the first loop. So, it is what it is.
That's great.
But I ran 3 times last week, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Hey, we need everybody to do something if you have. We are some needy bastards. We're always asking people to do stuff, but to ask you to do more stuff. The
Memphis
Memphis
Most.
Flyer, Memphis Most.
No, it's not Memphis Most.
Best of Memphis.
It's Memphis
It's
Flyer.
Best of Memphis, Memphis Flyer, Best
Sorry.
of Memphis. Yes, two different things.
Sorry.
I don't want you to get confused. It's just
It's memphisflyer.com. If you go there and submit us as it's under media and personalities,
We want you to
nominate the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast for your
There's a local podcast section.
favorite podcast. If you would do that, that would be fantastic.
best local podcast. It's a shoe-in. I'm surprised they haven't already just mailed us the award. I don't know. With the minute they saw that someone nominated, the first person nominated us, I'm surprised that whoever runs that joint just didn't say, "Oh gosh, I forgot that was here." We
If
should
I
just
was a
give them
listener
the
and I
award.
heard a host say that, I would be like, you know what? Fuck those guys. I'm not going to go and nominate those arrogant dicks for anything.
For all of you out there that have not been able to figure out how to leave us a 5-star review,
Which
you
is a
can-
lot.
You can instead go and nominate us for best local.
And then once
podcast.
you're done with that, go leave a
Go
5-star
give
review.
5-star review.
Our
That is
daughter's
not
birthday
an
is
arrogant
this
thing
week.
to say.
What?
That's
What?
not an arrogant thing to say.
It is the definition of arrogance.
No, it's not. Maybe.
That's a foregone conclusion.
Maybe
Maybe you're going
it's-
to win. That is the definition.
Maybe
of
it's.
arrogance.
I mean, look. I'll have to look it up.
Are you going to look at the definition of arrogance?
Yeah.
So our daughter's birthday is this weekend.
Nice.
So we got Grayson when he turned 10, we got him a MacBook Air, which he has used an incredible amount. So then Andy pointed out that she's turning 10, so it's time for her,
Our MacBook Air.
And my first thought was, first thing we're doing is leaving a 5-star review after we get her on there and getting, if you're going to pay that kind of money for something, at least it comes with a 5-star review. Make her type it, but I'll tell her what to say.
Arrogant. Having or revealing an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities.
It is safe to say that everything that you just said was,
That's not true.
it's not.
We have the best podcast in Memphis. I would die on that hill.
Even if that is validated by winning the award, that doesn't make it not arrogant for you to say what you're saying.
I don't have a problem with it. I guess is being arrogant a bad thing?
Yes, totally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That one thing in my life that I have that I'm arrogant, it's going to be that
This
thing.
is the hill he's
I'll
going to
die on that hill.
All right. What else we got? Gavin, let's talk about it.
I'm ready.
So we have an eating challenge, and we've decided to make this. Gavin has challenged me to an eat-off, and I said if we're going to do that, then we need to have a run before the eating event. That way we can work up an appetite, and we can get some people out there who may not normally run and run. You don't have to do that, but we're going to schedule, what do you say, a 4-hour run? Is that?
Sure.
You can come for none of it, or you can come for 4 of it, or you can come for an hour of it. Where would we do that? At Wolf River?
Wolf River, I think the Tour to Wolf Trail, because it's like, 10K on the trail. So that'd be like 4 loops.
If you're
maybe.
running to and from the visitor center, it's a 10K. If you're to and from the playground, it's closer to 6 miles.
The playground being right there by like the ropes course and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
And the visitor center is over there by the pond.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yep.
All the new construction?
We like to call that a lake, but yes,
The lake.
that's what you're referring to.
It's a pond.
There's a definition of a lake and a pond. You should look that up. I don't know what it is,
sure, yeah.
but something constitutes a
Patriot
lake
Lake.
versus a pond. It's not an ocean. I know that. Okay, so we would meet over there at what time? 6 a.m., 7 a.m.? Do we want to go home and shower after we run, or do we go?
I don't, but I mean-
I think we should go straight to the venue because it's too far out.
Well, I mean, I don't
Yes.
think they're going to be open for lunch at 10 a.m. when you finish. I guess by the time you get there, it'll be 11-ish.
I bet 10:30.
Man.
What
You
kind of food are you talking about eating? Go ahead, Brian.
There is no official scientific difference between a lake and a pond.
Oh, damn it.
Naming conventions between lakes and ponds are ultimately arbitrary as well, but the generally accepted consensus for the two involve size. Bodies of water that are dubbed lakes seem to constitute larger areas, while ponds seem to be smaller.
I would have argued that to the death.
It's a pond for sure. It's a pond.
I'd say it's a pond.
Yeah. Anyways.
What kind of food are we talking about eating after you run 4 hours?
I thought this was a pizza eat-off.
We originally talked about Garibaldi's pizza. And then Gavin recommended what?
Rizzi's in Arlington, because they do a 28-inch pizza, and if 2 men can eat it, or 2 people can eat it, then you get the pizza for free, and they give each, I guess, eater $50.
Athlete. If you can eat a pizza like that, you're an athlete.
So this isn't going to be an eat-off anymore. It's going to be just a joint competition to eat the pizza.
No, it's going to be both. It's still going to be an eat-off.
If
we
we
will
finish-
still weigh our food, but it would be an additional $100 for charity.
Yes. So
Because it's going to benefit the Chris Hope Foundation.
if we both finish our half, I don't know if we need to wait or not, but if we both finish our half, then I think we need to order something else.
Yes, I agree.
It cannot end in a tie.
agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, if you
There
finish
will
that,
be
there'll
a
be something
clear-cut
else
winner
ordered.
and loser because there has to be something that some sort of wagering system where people can bet on Gavin or myself or something. Some way of generating as much money for Chris Hope as we can do.
Okay, so my next question is, though, if we're going to have spectators / people coming, do we need to, try to rent this place out or set up a certain amount of people that are going to come in to watch / eat / spectate?
Yes.
What day are we doing this on?
It's on a Saturday.
Don't let me tell them the day. I screwed it up.
I've got it in my phone. We're doing
Because you
this
wouldn't answer the phone,
The
apparently.
20th, right?
Saturday, July the 27th.
Okay.
Hold on. That's not right. I don't know what I would have it in
I thought it
my.
was the 20th. Because
thought-
we started with talking about the 21st, which is a Sunday.
Okay, I have it in my phone as Gavin Eatathon. Is Saturday, July 20th.
Thank
July
you.
the 20th. So it's going to be a hot day.
And I have it set in my phone as an all-day event, just in case.
All-day event.
Are we going to is there a time limit on eating that pizza?
I don't think there is.
So
There has
this is
to
going to
be.
be a.
Well, but we need to...
within reason, yeah.
We
I mean,
need to
they'll
put a
fill
time
up.
limit on the eat-a-thon.
An hour.
Yeah, okay. So it's whatever you guys can eat in an hour. And I'm assuming that if you guys don't take down that full pizza within an hour, your 2 hours is not going to make or break.
We're
that.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we got Rob to do it like we did our 40th birthday?
Did
So
it at
if you-
CrossFit Memphis?
Yeah, if you're running at Tour de Wolf and we could get this restaurant to come out and bring the pizzas and food, right? And we could just do it at the gym across the street.
The only challenge
And-
there is when they eat all the pizza that's brought, then we have to wait for more pizza to be brought as opposed to being in the restaurant for more pizza to just be readily available. And
Well, I mean, I'm sure they can plan for that. It's just a suggestion. Versus everybody runs for 4 hours and then gets in the car and drives to Arlington. You know what I mean?
Man, that's going to be a stinking restaurant.
Right. And so if you,
they may want to close down on their
Yeah.
own when we invade.
right. So you'll have to have a conversation or somebody.
Yeah,
will
we'll
have to have
check into it and see what the options are with them. We'll look at that detail.
Somewhere in my head, I'm envisioning a prepaid thing to this, that we could put a forum up on the website and have people who want, because there's going to be other people who want to team up and try to take down the pizza.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And then we can also have other people who want their food weighed to be part of the competition. It doesn't have to be just me and Gavin.
But I don't disagree at all with that. The thing I want is you guys are the main event. We'll say it that way.
Okay.
There could be other sideline players as well, but you guys are the main event. And so obviously the Chris Hope Foundation is the winner in all of this, but what does the loser have to do?
Do we just put up? What are we getting at here?
Silence here.
I think the
Something.
loser needs to be a penalty for losing this event, the main event.
And
What does the winner get? That's first
Chris
of all.
Hope Foundation is the winner,
get all the pride.
Okay.
and we'll come up with
Yeah, some
the
bull
equivalent of the trophy
Fried chicken
that
trophy.
the fried chicken trophy. We'll come up with a pizza trophy or something that the winner can proudly hold for a year. But the loser, and we can say it's a monetary donation. And I'm open for whatever. There just needs to be a penalty for losing.
There has to be some pride.
100 burpees?
sacrifice.
$100? No go?
There has to be I'm
No.
not even excited about the monetary thing.
Yeah.
I think it has
No,
to be
it
something
needs to be
that's
something else.
it's something embarrassing, something that will be like, man, I don't want to do that. I wish I would have won.
I was thinking more along the lines of some sort of physical, I don't know, challenge or for a punishment. Kind of like when,
Like burpees. Like
like
100
burpees, like when you and Sam had to do 100 burpees.
You got to go
for-
run another hour.
Oh gosh,
It can't be payable that day.
I don't know
I
if
was
that
gonna
would
say.
work.
Because originally Gavin was kicking around dates to me, and he threw it out on a Sunday, and I told Amanda I don't want to do Sunday. She's like, I don't either. And then Gavin was like, I don't either. I just messed up the dates because once
That's what I do.
once it's done, I need to lay up for like a day. Like I think I got to recover. When I eat a lot of pizza like that, recovery is important. I don't know. Y'all think about it. We'll do something. I'm game.
let's
And
let-
we'll take
let's
some
let the
take
audience
some suggestions
decide for
from.
sure.
Yeah,
from
we
the
got a lot of
community.
people watching. You guys
So-
start letting us know your suggestions.
Yeah, whatever the bet needs to be, we'll do that. But you talking about being the main event, there should still be.
No, so we could definitely have a couple different things going on here. Obviously, you guys eating that giant pizza. If anybody else wants to create a 2-person team and also attempt to take down the pizza, we should allow that. What else can we do? Like anybody that wants to just join in on the eat-a-thon in generically
Like, will
join in.
spectators just pay $5 to
I
show
think,
up and
yeah,
take donations?
Yeah, we'll
Or just put
yeah.
a donate button up there?
We'll put a donate button on the website. Vaughn's gonna take care of that, right? And
See,
then
I
we'll
like
have
where-
we'll have a bucket.
I like where he's going. So if other people wanted to get in on this and they did not eat their whole pizza, then it would be like an us versus each other versus that
versus
team.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that idea.
And it's once again, it's just a pride thing. Whoever eats the most pizza, we're assuming it's going to be one of y'all, but whoever eats the most pizza,
Watch Chris Miller
takes
come in
the-
here and wipe
Oh,
everyone
gosh,
out.
I know.
Some ringer's going to come out of Lakeland. He's going to hear about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, is
Some
that
guy's
a
gonna-
thing here? Like, can some rando walk in and eat more pizza than both of you and be like, I won this thing?
Well, apparently this challenge has only been completed twice. Ever.
Interesting.
challenge accepted.
So
Wow.
Well, between the two of us, with everything at stake, we have to bring more drive and enthusiasm to this than the average two guys that are just like, hey, honey,
Hold
get
my
the
beer.
kids and watch me, eat
Yeah, I
this
don't know.
big pizza.
I don't know if my wife and kids want to see that anyway. So that might scare small
Think
children.
This is your mom, Elaine.
Yes.
She says it might be your brother. That might be the ringer.
My brother is a hellacious eater, and that's what gives me that's why I caution talking too much trash to Gavin, because there's similar.
You gotta watch out for the skinny
You
guys.
just don't know.
All the big
Yeah.
national eating champions are skinny.
Yep.
They're
Yeah, they
not
are.
big guys.
Yep.
So-
And I think that my brother could probably take me, but whatever.
We'll make sure
figure it out.
Ted's free that day.
We've got 4+ weeks to figure this out, so we'll get the details hashed out. Maybe we'll create a special page on liftheavyrunlong.com for this with the details.
You tell me what to do.
With the details and with the donate button for anybody that wants to donate to the Chris Hope Foundation as part of this. And
We'll tentatively plan on Rizzi's is the name of it in Lakeland.
And one of us will contact them between
Yeah.
now and then and work out the details with them to make sure that they're okay with it and that they can.
So
I don't-
y'all
I
will
don't-
really handle this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about any. I just got to
Nope.
show up,
You're just
run,
gonna
and
show
eat.
up.
Isn't that the way you like it?
Yeah. I just
What?
want to make sure it works that way. I'm a guy who doesn't want to do anything, but is also a control freak, if you haven't noticed that.
What is the strategy when you eat a giant pizza?
Me?
Yeah,
I
like-
just eat really fast, and I've always
You
done
just want
that.
to eat it really fast?
Mhm.
Mine is just wake up and live out another day.
Yeah. Sure, you say that now.
Every day's a competition. Now, I don't know that I have a real strategy.
How big is this pizza?
28 inches.
In
How
all
big is
seriousness,
that?
is there any
It doesn't sound big.
training that goes into this? I hesitate to use that word, but you know what I'm
Right
getting
after this,
at.
we're going to Dodges.
I don't know, the same amount of training that goes into a ultra, not much.
Is there a pre-trip out to Rizzi's in Lakeland to order that thing?
Amanda
be
and I
like,
talked about going
let's
out.
just see
We're
what
going
this
to go
thing
out
looks
there just for date night, or take the
check
kids
it
out
out.
there.
see what this
See what it
pizza
looks
looks like.
Wilson wants to make sure he even likes the pizza.
Yeah, that would be bad.
And have we agreed on toppings for this pizza?
Well, I guess
or-
the pizza probably. I
You're
thought
allowed to
those
have
were-
2.
What do you like?
Pepperoni, sausage,
I like pepperoni.
whatever.
Sausage, okay.
Sausage give you like heartburn.
It does.
Okay, yeah, me too. I still eat it though.
Hey,
I
it
do
doesn't
too.
stop me from eating it.
Yeah.
Hey Vaughn, we should contact them about helping them with their website, because down at the bottom of their website there's a thing that says file area header. There's a link. There's a link to their menu and then file area footer.
exposed code.
All right. Well, let's get into some of these articles I have here. What is No Bull Shoes? Are they their own brand, or
Yep,
is that
yep.
a division of
Nope.
something?
They are themselves.
I believe that they are their own brand.
I was skimming through an article that said one of the Davis daughters and Toomey had left Reebok, I guess in the same week. And both of them went to No Bull.
Well, Toomey hasn't been, unless they've released it since I read the last article. She's not official on No Bulls yet, but she's been seen in their trainers.
Okay. They said it
So-
came at a bad time because they were just releasing the Reebok Nano point something whatever's.
9.0, whatever it is. 9.0.
So
I
who
think
was
they're
it that was?
nines,
It may have been Mark Fortune that posted a thing about whichever daughter that got the sponsorship deal. Like, there's apparently a pregnancy clause in there.
Yes, with none.
Where,
None.
with
Noon.
Noon. Okay, so
Yeah,
she
with
still
Noon.
gets her sponsorship dollars even if
Even
she
if she
can't
gets
compete.
pregnant, yeah.
And that kind of a thing.
What do you think about that?
I'm okay with her being smart enough to say,
Yeah,
that's a
I am too.
possibility, and y'all need to pay me my money, because especially now realizing that it's Noon, like, they have branched out enough into enough different products that there are things that she can still use even if she's not working out. Like, they have a thing called Noon Life, which is just a tablet you drop in water that you should drink just sitting at your
yeah.
desk all day. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's just like, hey, here's your daily vitamins and things that are important to you, kind of thing. And so
If you
there's
had
enough
to
other
guess, how much money is Noon giving her?
Or do you have to guess? It may be on there.
things. Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure it's not on there.
You don't think they would disclose that?
I wouldn't think so, but maybe they
If
would.
they're a publicly traded company, they would probably have to.
What do you have an opinion on people getting putting pregnancy clauses? Is that a new thing, or is that something that's gone on for a long
Oh,
time?
I would have no idea. But, I mean, I would imagine that it's a pretty smart thing for them to do, yeah.
I do too.
I think I noticed something on social media last week that Ultra does that with their female athletes. I think it's great.
I do too.
I just bought my first pair of
why-
Ultras.
Why wouldn't you have a pregnancy clause?
What do you think about your ultras? Have you run in them yet?
I haven't run in them. I'm trying to break them in at the hospital because, I'm there for 10 hours a day walking around. So I'm
And-
going to try to run in them.
And you have to acclimate your
Yeah.
feet to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm acclimating. But they feel great. I didn't think I'd even enjoy putting them on my feet because I have plantar fasciitis, and I've always been told I need a lot of cushion and a lot of arch support and blah, blah, blah.
Did you get road shoes or trail shoes?
Road.
Would there be more of an argument that ultras would cause or cure plantar fasciitis?
They say they can cure it because it's following it's allowing your foot to
Do its
do
natural,
its natural
thing?
thing. So,
Which kinds of ultras did you get?
I don't know.
Are they flat?
Zero drop.
Or they're flat. Well,
They're the newest,
they're all
the ones that
zero
just
drop,
came out a
right?
couple weeks ago,
Are they
3
like
weeks
big?
ago.
Do they look like big Hoka shoes, or do they
No.
look like flat?
They're
shoes?
they're more
They're not
they're more
crazy
in the middle.
flat, but they're in the middle. They have the cushion,
They're not space
But
shoes.
they're
I know
zero
An
what you're
drop.
talking
Escalante.
about.
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know, but they're the ones that just came out 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I got a pair of New Balance shoes. Damn, New Balance shoes are so good. Or I guess what I should say is finding good shoes is so good.
Or you got shoes wide enough for your feet.
Yes, right. I was telling Gavin that I got into running and was like, I got to start buying like these boutique shoes that you can't find in Walmart. And then I was like, man, I hate running. And I went into the store and I got these New Balance and I was like, And he brought out the widest kind and he brought out wider ones and he brought out wider ones. They got this huge toe box in it and I don't have to run in my orthotics and my life is good. And then on top of that, Amanda got me these Sambas for...
Oh, what?
What did you get me these for? Our anniversary?
What's
For our
what's a
anniversary.
Samba?
That's a Samba.
The indoor soccer shoes
Oh,
that were big
Adidas.
in like middle school.
You know our girl Emily Reed?
Yeah, she had some on. He freaked
She
out.
was wearing some, and I was like, oh,
So I bought some.
look at those.
So this is Emily Reed's fault. Emily,
It's
your
totally
fault.
Emily Reed's fault. I'm just trying to be like her, and Sambas was step one in that, and I've accomplished that. What do you find out over there, Thirsty?
Nothing yet.
He's looking at porn.
Can
not
y'all,
even,
can
he's
y'all
not
hear
even
that?
paying attention.
Oh, sorry.
Well, can you handle more articles?
I can.
Okay. Well, what about the 92-year-old running a marathon?
So I never got that. It didn't look like a marathon. It looks like he walks a 5K every year.
What?
And it's just added up. Have I read that wrong?
I have not read the article yet, so
I think it's the marathon has a 5K portion that he walks every year. But I'm not 100%. But I couldn't understand where the marathon was coming in at on that article.
Is it one of those things where I'm doing the St. Jude marathon, but actually I'm not doing the St. Jude marathon? I'm
Maybe.
doing the
That's how I
half
read it
marathon,
as.
Or maybe I'm just doing the
Because it kept
5K.
talking about the 5K.
Because you went out to the St. Jude Marathon and ran
I was
the 5K.
there and I ran.
Yeah. So
yeah, he does the 5K.
Okay.
they're putting in a 60-mile trail between Hot Springs, Arkansas,
pretty awesome.
and Little Rock, Arkansas.
It's pretty awesome.
And we were at a function for Amanda's work, and one of the people that she works with is an avid mountain biker, and so he rides along those areas all the time. And I'm not 100% sure that we were talking about the same stretch of area, but he said that the the Waltons, was that who it was?
Yep.
Put in a ton of money, dropped a ton of money in those trails. They're big into biking.
Wow.
And
I don't know if they're the ones doing the ones between Little Rock and Hot Springs.
They're not.
But Bentonville,
That's where
That's
he was
what he
talking
said,
about, 'cause that's where the
Bentonville.
main
It's-
headquarters of Walmart is.
it's like a mountain biking destination.
Mecca.
Yeah, a Mecca. There you go. Mecca.
well, and he was saying that probably on paper, not only was it really nice of them to pour their money into it, but it's probably a really good business decision because people are coming to it. People are coming to Bentonville to do events and, spend their money.
Do you have a mountain bike?
I do not. I have no intentions of ever having
I
one.
would love to do that.
I would
one day.
not.
I've got one in the back of that truck out there. I'll sell it cheap
You're about to put me.
because I bought one
just
when I got
steal
the
it.
stress fracture earlier this year, and I thought I was 25 years old again, and I'm like over there at Bayou Point, jumping all the little hills and stuff, and man, I hit the ground hard. I thought I broke my shoulder.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got an X-ray. It turned out I just separated that AC joint, and so I couldn't lift my arm.
You heard it bad enough to go to the doctor.
Oh yeah, I couldn't lift my arm more than like 6 inches for a few days,
Really?
and then not more than halfway for like a couple of weeks.
Well, Vaughn knows what that feels like.
I do.
Yep.
It's not very fun,
It
is it?
feels like, yeah. Mountain bikes are crazy. There's I saw a thing on Instagram. They closed. There's a legendary skateboarding spot in California called El Toro. It's like an elementary school somewhere in California, and like these skaters used to just ollie this handrail and down the steps. It's giant. All right, it's huge. And so this week they covered it with dirt. They decided to close it. Like I guess the school or the city or something decided to cover it up, and it was legendary, right? So they've got it all covered with dirt, and now it's like this downhill dirt thing covered in dirt, and it's got tape around it. Well, this mountain biker goes on top of the school even higher than the thing today on his Instagram, and he's on the roof, jumps off the roof and all the way down to the dirt where they put on these stairs, and he was like, y'all thought it was closed on his Instagram, and it just went boom. Like everybody was like, oh man, these mountain bikers are insane.
That's crazy.
It's an insane drop. Like when his bike hit, I was like, how do you even do something like that? It's crazy.
That's the way I look at those skateboard videos, primarily the ones that you post. It's one guy in particular that I've seen you post about 3 or 4 different times, and him jumping off of a hotel, balcony with his skateboard over until he lands it. He does it. He doesn't land it. He
I love it.
Doesn't land it, and he'll keep doing it until he does. Man,
I don't know how they do that.
I don't ever want to fall off anything ever again. I don't want to spend any more time than absolutely necessary with at least one of my legs not on the ground. When I run, there's always one foot touching the ground. When I do burpees, at least my toes are still dragging the ground. So I don't want to ride a bike. I don't want to do box jumps. I don't want to jump over the bar when I do burpees. I just think it's safer down here.
Just to stay grounded.
Yep. I'm not going to benefit from getting in the air. There's nothing up here for me.
I realize that now.
Yep. But it took a
Hence the bikes for sale.
near-death experience to understand that.
Well, listen, if you land on both feet or tires or wheels or whatever, it feels really good.
You're right about that.
So there's always that.
Did you ever BMX?
No.
Did you ever when I said BMX, I was thinking about biking, like dirt biking. Did you ever motor dirt bike?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Did y'all have one out at your farm or anything?
All we have is 4-wheelers and
Yeah.
2-wheelers.
Yeah,
We were
Three-wheelers. I bet you had the 3-wheelers like way after they were outlawed.
They were outlawed?
I didn't realize they were outlawed either.
Yeah.
My grandfather used
Yeah.
it to check the fence rows. Josh and I, not so much.
They're like horribly dangerous.
Oh, they flip so easy. We
Three-wheelers
flipped them
are
all the
horribly
time.
dangerous.
Have-
It's a
have
wonder
you-
we didn't kill ourselves.
Have you seen that meme? It's like brakes. You mean first gear? You know?
Whoa. Yeah.
There was one of our friends had a dirt bike, and I wasn't allowed to ride it, which meant very little. But so we would take turns riding it. So if we had to be somewhere, like if there was a party or something going on, then 2 of us would have to get on. Somebody drive it, drop the person off, come back, pick somebody up. The other person would drive. We all fought about who was going to drive it. Well, we snuck out of the house one night, and I'm driving the motorcycle, and I'm coming back, and so that I wouldn't make any noise, you get it going as fast as you can, and then you cut the engine off. I was gonna coast into the house. Well, I'm coasting into the driveway, and as I'm turning, I let the clutch go, and of course the bike spins out from underneath me, and it falls on my leg, and I have this burn on my leg that's like a perfect shape of a exhaust, like where the exhaust hits the muffler. I remember my mom asked me about it. I think I said it was a diving board injury,
Made up
some
some other
kind
story.
of something. Is my mom still listening?
She's
by the way?
She knows now.
You're in trouble.
At 42 years old, I'm sitting over here legitimately like, oh man, crap. Now I'm in trouble.
You're 43.
42.
Dang, man.
I'm 44.
Are you
What's
thinking
up?
that I look like a young 60 or an old?
No, I just thought you were married to Amanda, and she's like 32.
I wish. Thank you.
Look at that. Wow.
What about all these people getting banned for PEDs and CrossFit? You think that's a Glassman move, like tighten down and
I think
expose everything?
Yeah, I think probably. I think it seems like everything that he's doing is in a way to bring the sport back to an everyman sport
Yes.
and not an elite sport.
He is for the everyday man.
And
He's
so
advocating for the everyday person.
Screw all you people that are trying to do some, edgy thing to, get that little bit of gain kind of thing that that people don't naturally get. Like just show up and compete and do the best you can.
Does it make you feel any less about the athlete, or do you even really give a shit anyway?
I don't give a shit.
No, because they're still going to beat our asses even if they aren't taking
Absolutely.
that medication.
Yep.
They will always be taking something.
And not some of them.
Not some of them. Every
All of
single
them.
one of them.
And all
And you
of them.
would too if you could
Absolutely.
figure it out.
Absolutely.
You would do it. I would
That's what
do
Wilson
it.
said the other
You
day.
could say you wouldn't do it, but you would do it if you had the opportunity to go to the CrossFit Games. You would indeed
Yes.
figure out some way that you could
Well,
take
see, yeah.
some sort of thing that would help you, and you can't convince me otherwise.
And the way that they can game it, like even if somebody takes whatever PEDs for 10 years and then goes clean for a year and they're peeing clean and everything like that, they still have all the benefit of the gains that they gained from the previous 10 years. Like those,
Sure.
If you continue to work out at the level you were working out without that performance enhancing drug, you're still going to maintain to some extent that level that you were at. You're not going to go back to never.
I think there's a lot of variation there. I think it depends on what you're taking.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely depends on what you're taking,
Yeah.
but I mean, they'll figure it out.
But I mean, if you're competitive enough to get there, even just the competition thing, even just the competitive spirit aside, if you can get there, and you have that drive to get there, and you know that everybody around you, or even you suspect that most likely everybody around you is doing it, and people are telling you, well, Vaughn's taking this creatine stuff that you inject, and why don't you? Well, yeah, man. And then, just a little bit more, and then it's working, and it's like, this is great, man. And next thing you know, I just want to make it clear that I would pop positive in a heartbeat and wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's anything negative about it. Like, to be like, oh, that guy's such an asshole because he or she.
I guess I'm just taking back
whatever.
the people on like the CrossFit Masters page are like, I can't believe
Bullshit.
Like
those
really?
guys, those Masters guys will do anything they could possibly imagine.
I'm not talking about the athletes.
Like
I'm just talking about the people in the group, that people really don't believe that that's going on all the time in every sport. Like, it's not just CrossFit. If you're paying to watch somebody do something and it's not piano or Suzuki, chances are, if it's athletic, they're taking something they're not supposed to, that's
it
not
might
in the rule
be
book.
some like deer. What is the deer horn?
Deer
thing they're not
velvet
supposed to eat
powder
or
or
whatever
something.
it
What? I've
is.
not heard this.
They're taking it. I don't know if they can figure out a way to get away with it, they will.
Interval training. I hear more and more about interval training.
Do you now?
I do. What do you think about it?
I think that's what we have in our app.
What do you think about run walking?
What do I think about run walking? I think that's fantastic too.
Do you have a preference? Do you have like a ratio? If you were doing, when you did your 100-miler, did you have a ratio that you stuck with?
Well, that's during the race. Yeah. 2 minutes. It was like 2 and 4 or something like that.
Did you train like that?
No, I did not. But
Have you ever?
I've never trained with like run walk stuff, but I definitely have trained interval. That's how I've always trained, interval training.
Yeah, when I said interval training, I was thinking more along the lines of just run walks, like throughout a
yeah,
distance.
for sure. I mean, I love that strategy, especially for like longer races, especially when you can time your watch. You can time these watches to be like
since like
2 minutes.
September,
You can run.
October of last year, I've almost trained. I won't say 100% of the time, but a lot of the time I've trained that way. I did Tunnel Hill 50 last year, following 4-1 for most of it. I did the St. Jude half and the weight vest, doing a 3-2 or 4-1. I can't remember. But it definitely works.
Well, normally I would like up to a marathon, like a marathon. I like to run the whole time if I can. Like anything beyond that, if you can do like some sort of strategy, like where I'm gonna run for a minute, walk for a minute, or run for 3 minutes, walk for 2 minutes, or whatever it may be. I mean, that's a great strategy, especially if you're, not trying to win the race, or whatever. Like if I'm not trying to set a course record, and I just want to do my best.
Jeff Galloway, who kind of pioneered that run, walk, run.
That's the name I was trying to think of.
Mentality. He actually, now of course, he's a little bit older than the rest of us, but he qualified for Boston doing run, walk, run.
Wow.
In his
Did he
age
really?
group.
I wonder what kind
In his
of
age group.
what kind of ratio he was doing there.
Because he's got a couple books out, and he said, and I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, but something along the lines of 1 minute of walking only makes you 10 seconds per mile slower. Like as far as your pace goes. So, it's like over enough time. It's not significant.
Well, there's a lot of mental things that go into that too. I think I've ran with people before where I'm like, okay, look, we're just going to run a minute and then we're going to walk a minute. Right. And they'll run faster for the minute
Right.
And they're like, you said you couldn't run that fast. Look, we just did a 9-minute mile and you said you couldn't run that fast. And here we are.
Right.
Because then during that minute time, they're like, yeah, they're like, think they can run faster than they would normally.
Because they know they're going to get a break.
Yeah, they're going to get a break.
Right. They know that they're going to get a break. And then so that break comes and they're like, oh, that was easy. And I'm like, well, we just clocked a 9-minute mile. And before you were doing 12-minute miles, So it definitely works. It definitely helps for sure.
Amanda, you're a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
Have you done much training with it, or you just have you just done some races with it?
I am now. My first, with my first experience was Tunnel Hill with Vaughn and them.
2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
So you
2
did your
years
hundo.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Wow. Anyway, that's when I was introduced to it, and then because I always believe like. If you're gonna run a race, you're gonna run a race. You're gonna run it. You need to run it. There's no walking.
Right.
Good luck with that.
Anyway, so now
That's the way I always felt for like the
even
first
like
4
a
miles.
dopey challenge for the marathon, we ran for 45 seconds and walked for 30, and it was perfect. I never was winded. I never felt tired. I kind of wanted to go ahead at some point. So like, oh, I'm tired of doing this, but I knew if we just stuck with that pace.
I have enough nervous energy or whatever you want to call it at the starter races that I generally run for the first like 20 minutes and then I let the intervals kick in. But beyond that, I usually do like a 4-1 or a 3-2, just depending on how long the race is.
I've been running with Lisa Barker and Alan Couch, and they are two of they're very fun people to run with. And Alan is training for the Tunnel Hill 100-miler, and Lisa's already done it, and he's training doing 1-1s. I think he's going to kick up to 2-1s, but run the race doing 1-1s. And I just love it, man. I love the pace. Even more than that, if I'm running by myself, or like the Navy Nautical Miler I enjoyed that run more than I've enjoyed the Navy Nautical Miler ever, but probably more than I've enjoyed any race of any, significant distance. And Melissa and I were just going from call your shot to call your shot. We would just, where to? We'd say we're going to run to that. We're going to run to that cone. We're going to run to that pole, and just really short. And I think the shorter bursts that I would go, the faster I was willing to go. And then the quicker I recover. And I think that probably I'm more adjusted to recover quicker than I am to wear myself down for an extended period and try to recover like that.
Yeah. It's also a distraction, the other day I did a 3-mile run, and every so many minutes I would stop and do 10 squats every 5 minutes or something like that. And that's like you're not normally, sometimes I would be like, I just don't want to be out here running. I don't want to be out here running. But now I'm like, I know in 5 minutes I got to do 10 squats or whatever. So I'm looking at my watch, thinking about that versus going, just where am I right now? Like could I just stop running and go back home or something like that? And so I think just that whole setup where you've got to stop in a minute to walk is a distraction from negative thoughts. You could probably be going, my knee hurts or whatever. I think I'm going to, walk for an hour or, I don't know, whatever.
I've wondered that about you, and I've meant to ask you at times before, but I've never asked you. Do you spend as much time as probably anybody else in your head thinking, I don't want to run anymore. I don't want to be out here. I don't want to be out here.
No, but I have ways around that. Most of the time I love especially lately, I just love running because I get into the spot where I'm just like meditating almost. But when I do think those negative things, I use social media to keep me away from those
I hear that.
negative thoughts. I say, what am I going to post when I'm done? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to screenshot this GPS thing and put it on Instagram because, and I think, what am I going to say when I do that? And I do that so that I don't fall into like whatever negative trap is down there. But most of the time it's especially lately, it's just like a meditative type thing.
I think that there is such a thing as an intentionally produced false sense of importance where you can tell yourself like, this is going to be on Facebook.
There are people that are waiting for me to post the results of this run.
I need to do well.
Have to do it. Yes.
You know, or I have to finish. I tell myself like I have to finish. I can't just not do this.
Right.
When at the end of the day, nobody cares.
I can't tell you how many times I've finished 50-mile races specifically because I knew I had to post this on the blog or a website or some sort of social media. I know that a lot of people think that's stupid, but I don't care.
If that's your motivator, then
if
that's your motivator.
If that works when you can't go on anymore and you're like, man, I can't quit, because I can't let Wilson down or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's good enough.
How about you, Gavin?
I've only been there once. So when I ran Sillamore with that stress fracture, that's what I was telling Wilson before we got started. Like, I let it rest for 2 weeks. So I didn't run for 2 weeks prior, thinking, it'll get better, But this was also before
2 weeks is plenty of time to heal.
This was
split
also
bone.
Before I knew it was a stress fracture. I'm like, it's just probably just a pulled muscle or something in my tibia.
Probably just an ear infection.
So like mile 16 or so started hurting, but like by mile 20, it's bad. And I was running with a friend because I was supposed to be pacing her to a first sub 7 50K, and she was waiting on me, and I was like, go. So when I got left alone on the mountain hurting, oh man, I started spiraling out of control in my head. But then I caught up with Rachel and Miss, oh my goodness, the Soto Runners Club, Miss Kathy. Mm-hmm. Okay, Miss Kathy. Yeah. And they were like, how you doing, Gavin? How you doing? I'm like, I'm pretty much dying. And they were turned into like the best cheerleaders I've ever seen. Both of them. I mean, when I passed them right before the creek, they were just cheering and clapping, and I could hear them. And I ran that entire gravel road back to the road.
Oh man, wow, that's a tough stretch.
Oh yeah, my last mile was like 8:15 a mile, and that quarter of a mile that was
Dang.
a quarter of a mile of that was like part of that gravel road climbing up. Then the last 3/4 of the mile down. So I was like 7:15, 7:20 coming down that hill back towards Anglers. So.
But day in and day out, when you put on your shoes to go run around your 5-mile loop around your neighborhood,
mm-hmm.
is it generally a pleasure?
Yeah.
You don't ever have to.
Not in 5 miles, no. I think it takes a little bit more than that to really start spiraling out of control.
It really depends on the day, I think.
Well, I can spiral out of control before I even get my shoes on.
True.
Oh. You don't like to run, though.
That's true.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think I'm a freak.
There's something to be said for that.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but I think I would love it if I could run like you did as well. But of course, in order to run like you do, I'd probably have to run like you do.
Well, there are days like when some days it's super hot outside and you're like got 6 miles to run and you're like 4 miles into this super hot and humid run. You're like, there are other things I'd rather be doing than this right now.
Well, that's along the lines of what we were just talking about with a, false sense of importance or false sense of identity. That's the way I am with heat. Now, heat shuts me down just because I'm fat and I sweat like hell, but it doesn't bother me on any level. Like, and that's because I tell myself, like, this is what I do. This is what I've always done. I work outside. Heat doesn't bother me. And so because I have that belief system, it affects me. It doesn't bother me, if that makes any sense. Like I'm sitting out there just having the life sucked out of me, but I'm also enjoying telling myself like I can handle this as well as anybody.
this isn't any worse than what you've already done before, so
Right.
suck it up. And
I don't know, man. Sometimes in the heat, I'll get out there and it's just like, oh, God. This is terrible, especially in August.
Right
You
after
know,
that
I don't know.
afternoon shower, and it's
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
and muggy.
Amanda does not like heat,
Nope. Anything
don't
over
either.
72, I just wilt.
which really
suck.
surprises me because you're so tough in every area.
I
And
could
then
run
when it's
all
hot,
winter
she's
long
like-
and be fine, but tell me to go run a mile right now, I would just lay down on the pavement and die. Hate it.
I'm talking like 75. She's like,
72, done.
St. Jude Marathon ended up
It
being
was-
like 76 degrees,
hot.
77 degrees.
That was not a fun
dying.
experience.
was
Yeah.
that a special circumstance of heat? Because I know 76 is not cool by any means. 76 is hot, but that 76 seemed like a hellaciously warm 76
Well,
degrees.
it's
I think
only-
it's, I think it's
you know-
after it had been cold for a while. It had
Yeah.
been cold for like a month or so. So it's just what we're acclimated to. So because we're used to the cold, 76 feels super warm.
Man.
Well,
As
76
opposed
is
to-
pretty warm to run a marathon in.
Oh, no
Yes.
doubt. But
For
I'm just
sure.
saying, if it had been 100 degrees out for the month prior, and then we get a 76 degree, everybody would be applauding at how cool
Yeah.
it felt out. I'm just
Only
saying.
only
it's
in
just-
Memphis can one year they cancel it for snow and ice, and then one year it's
Yeah,
76
right.
degrees.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Get sun poisoning.
December 2nd or whatever.
Man, I got this article not even to read it or even talk about it, but this was something that was in Men's Health. Exercise, psych patients' new natural prescription. How the fuck are people still like trying to discover that exercise has some sort of psychological value? Like, at what point
You
would
haven't
that
figured
not
that out
be?
yet?
What I mean, you would think when you go to the doctor that every doctor would be trained to be like, all right, first you need to learn to tell somebody to go exercise. Like, you should have to. There should be some sort of maybe
Because
Greg.
how
Gla-
much
we-
compliance are you going to get? 90% of those people is going to be like, no, give me the damn pill.
Yeah, I was going to say we live in a society where we'd rather take a pill than have to put any real effort into ourselves. And I won't say it's a lot of the doctors, but I will say there are more than a few doctors out there that aren't athletic themselves, that are smokers, that eat junk food and all that stuff. And who's going to take the advice that they need to go exercise from somebody that...
Well, they also get paid to prescribe a particular
Yeah,
medication.
if Nike
I'm
was
sure,
if
like-
Nike was coming around and writing checks like Big Pharma was, then
Very
it
true.
might have a different result.
Yeah, treadmills aren't sending checks, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always said I wanted to go on to be a doctor, but nobody would come see me because the first thing I would do is, well, you need to start exercising for at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And we'll
Did you
go
hear
from
that,
there.
lady? That doctor was so mean. She
Uh,
told
And they'll be
Do
like,
what?
I'm going to somebody else. And I wouldn't have any clientele. I wouldn't have no patients.
That's very true.
Just give me the pill.
Give me the Lipitor, lady.
Do you think that's what? Do you think that's the angle Glassman's going for? Is to make it to where there's a monetary way to inject physical fitness into insurance
Well, I don't know about that.
and healthcare?
I don't know
Probably
about
not.
that. I mean, he's pushing healthcare and nutrition, and he talks about hyponatremia, hypernatremia, diabetes. They're putting out all these articles that are great. I don't know how many people are sitting and reading them to realize how important your health is and how easy it is to take care of your health if you just do simple things with your nutrition.
Well, that's my question. Is there a possibility of there being, I'm using the term standardized healthcare, where that standardization includes a physical fitness regimen
I think there are.
to where everybody is required to do at least a minimum amount of this, that, or the other, and there needs to be a way that it's logged or ensured that you do that, whether it be in the workplace or through technology or something.
I don't think there's any way to enforce it.
There are some companies that are doing things like that. Like
There are doctors that are doing. things like
there are
that,
some
yeah.
companies that if you wear like a an activity tracker, that they'll give you a discount on your health insurance. There are some companies
But there's no way
that
to
actually
prove.
charge more Like if you have to do an annual physical, and if you test positive for nicotine, meaning you're smoking, like they're going to charge you like $1,000 more a year for your health insurance.
And I know a couple of doctors that are doing more of a don't prescribe a pill, prescribe exercise type deal, but they don't take insurance. Right.
Right.
You go and pay them $80 for your doctor visit or whatever it is.
Which is where their money comes from, I'm assuming, would be their prescriptions, a lot of it. Is that right? No?
No.
I don't know how all that works. I don't think that's how.
So what would be their incentive to write medicine versus exercise?
So
just patients coming to see them?
Yeah. Just patient load. Because they get paid for their visits. And if you have insurance, you get paid, for what you test for, the lab test, and then how long you're with them and what their diagnoses are and all that stuff. You get paid for that.
But doctors don't get any kind of kickback or anything from prescription
They're not
companies?
supposed to anymore.
I don't know. I just know that I know a couple of doctors who are not taking health insurance. I don't know, but that might be a whole other thing where we're doing this thing where we don't take insurance anymore. But those doctors happen to also be the doctors who are, let's get you on a real diet and get you on an exercise program versus me giving you a pill. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's a correlation there between not taking health insurance and doing that. I don't know.
So they wouldn't get paid for insurance. They wouldn't get paid for what they're getting paid for is what you pay them, because they don't get any kickbacks from insurance, paying them money for their services. But
would they charge more if an insurance company is paying the bill?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You jack everything up and turn that into insurance, and then they pay out.
Does my $80 visit without insurance cost $160 if it's a normal doctor visit that takes insurance? I don't know.
I would assume so, yes.
That show that y'all turned Amanda and I onto, the technology show, we talked about it on the way home from Sillamore 2 years ago. Black Mirror. Black Mirror had an episode where they got on treadmills. The power grid was run through getting on the treadmills. Yeah. And so you got up in the morning, and I
was thinking about the episode yesterday.
You got credits.
You
got credits for the more that you ran. So you'd be like a wealthy guy. Gavin would be like this wealthy baller, but you got to get up every day and you got to run. And you can watch TV, and then, but that was, I guess that was like the that
was their job.
The self-perpetuating deal. Like that's all that you got.
You got like a place to live, a place to sleep, and all your food and your TV. You can watch or whatever.
Points depending on it. Yeah, and you got to buy like shows or a snack or whatever.
Yeah, that was the thing. Wasn't the guy like spending his money on porn? Not porn, but it's something he wanted to watch.
No, he was spending his money on blocking the porn. So you would do that, and it would take away what you'd pay to block the porn.
If you didn't want to watch the ads, you could like swipe the ad away.
Swipe that away.
But it would cost points.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But he fell in love with that girl that had the talent and was going to be on that America's Got Talent kind of thing, or Black Mirror's
And he gave all his money to her.
That's right. Spoilers.
Yeah. And then what did she do?
They took her out there. She drank that juice or whatever, had something in it that dulled her senses, and they talked her into porn instead of being a famous singer.
Yeah. So then he went out there and he held a knife to his neck and was
"That's right.
I'm gonna kill you for what you did, blah blah blah." And then he wound up being like a game show guy that was like, "I'm gonna kill you for what you did." Like that was his tagline. Man, that show is something else.
It is.
Well, you just ruined it for me.
Well, that's just one. They're all different.
It's
It's
like Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Every episode is disconnected and unrelated,
and very real, very possible.
Have you watched it? So they did a Choose Your Own Adventure version, Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, we didn't get to that because it scares me too bad. So I can only watch one.
I know what you're talking. That was a huge. I didn't watch it, but that was huge.
Was it Bandersnatch or
was
something?
that
Something like that?
That wasn't the birdcage thing.
No. This was a Black Mirror episode. If that's what you're asking me.
And I got like 20 minutes into it, and I was having beers, and I was like, man, I got to watch this when I'm not having beers.
Well,
'cause
and then-
I was like,
And I don't know
trying
what's
to-
coming out, but Netflix just released a music video, and it's Miley Cyrus.
Oh well,
singing.
it's already out. That's the Nine Inch Nails Head Like a Hole episode where Miley Cyrus is in it. I haven't watched the episode yet.
She's playing a music singer like in the episode or whatever, and they released an actual video of her singing a song. Anyways, it's
it's the Nine Inch Nails song "Head Like a Hole," and but it's got like a couple of different lyrics in it or whatever. They've already made T-shirts for it. I was like, I want one of those T-shirts. I haven't even seen the episode yet.
That's awesome.
We're out of time.
What?
Yep.
No hypotheticals?
We don't have any hypotheticals.
Womp womp.
We
No
got
5-star
time.
reviews?
No hypotheticals. No fives. Somebody, please, if you're listening,
Dear God, for the love of God, a 5-star
give
review.
us a 5-star review.
We would do it for you if you had a podcast.
Lift Heavy Run Long episode number 150 is in the books.
Boom.